In today's video, to quote The Sound of Music, we're going to talk about how do you solve a problem like Jim Morton. One would think it seems very straightforward. He's created a toxic work environment. He's a problem, so just fire him. The issue with that is that Jim Morton has a contract with CFCC that's negotiated by the board. That contract has been continuously extended almost every year. Last year, it was extended for 5 years. This year, it was extended for another year, which means his contract is now going to last through 2029. That contract has stipulations about a payout if he's released. So if they fire him, they would have to pay him out. We know that he makes almost $500,000, $404,000 annually. So you can imagine the payout from a contract like that would be very significant and prohibitive for the board. I find it very interesting that the board seems to have painted themselves into a corner here, given the fact that they continue to give him bigger and bigger raises and extensions. Certainly they know that it's almost impossible to fire him. Is that an accident? I don't think so. So does that mean we've lost all hope? It doesn't. There could be some loopholes. It's entirely possible that Jim's contract contains some kind of ethics or morals clause. If the board found that Jim violated that clause, it's possible they could release him from his contract with cause and not have to pay out his contract. The other possibility is the NCCC, the North Carolina Community College Board. They've just passed a new rule that requires local boards of community colleges to approve presidents through them first, not just new presidents, but also presidential extensions. So that would mean that if they continue to give Jim extensions, it would be required to be approved by NCCC first. Interestingly, this rule has already gone into effect, but they still gave him a 1-year extension this year. So my question is, where are you, NCCC? How do you not follow up on this? So to summarize, it would appear that we may be stuck with Mr. Morton until 2029. Is it a possibility that something could come forward that might qualify under that ethics and morals contract? It certainly could, particularly given the fact that local media has been pretty much all over the college since he took the president's position. I can tell you from my own firsthand experience of talking to various sources, there are most definitely employees and former employees of the college that have information that would qualify as an ethics or morals violation. The problem is that they've been gaslit and harassed so much that they're terrified to say anything. They're afraid they'll either be fired if they're current employees or that individuals at the top at CFCC will badmouth them to the point where they won't be able to find employment anywhere else. Ultimately, the biggest issue that faces us here is every good gardener knows that if you want to pull up a weed, you have to pull it up by the root. And the root in this situation is the Board of Trustees. Even if they are able to or inclined to get rid of Mr. Morton, which it seems they are not, one would assume if this board continues, they are probably going to put somebody into the president's position who is equally as corrupt and power hungry as Mr. Morton.